they're changing my voice. So this is part 2. I'd like to remind you that according to Oxford Languages, a syllogism is an instance of a form of reasoning in which a conclusion is drawn, whether validly or not, from two given or assumed propositions or premises, each of which shares a term with the conclusion and shares a common or middle term not present in the conclusion. So this playlist is not just about syllogisms, right? It's about something that may be a little bit off from a syllogism, but the logic is still sound. It's first and foremost about proving my points. So both the definitions I came across of syllogism were insufficient. I believe I came across 2 videos that attempted to explain what a syllogism is, and they were also insufficient. Let me give you an example. If someone tried to explain to you what honor is, and they said honor is when you have a good standing with people, okay, and they would argue that it changes in different cultures. That's wrong. That's not what honor is in its truest sense. They miss the main form of honor. Honor is when you're virtuous and you're righteous, and through righteousness, through absolute and true righteousness, universal righteousness, righteousness in reality, not in the white man's construct or any other construct, but in reality. But you honor something, your family, your nation, whatever it is. And that is the difference between an accepted explanation in the white man's system and the actual explanation in reality. So it is with a syllogism. A syllogism, now I don't know who invented it, but I'm assuming that some white person invented it, some Greek or something. Okay. And whether or not they did, it doesn't matter, but it comes off that way. And they certainly cling on to it as if they invented it themselves. It's something that they invented. However, because the definition is vague, it then begs the question, should I make it better? Should I interpret it differently than the person who made the word in order to convey the truth? And so it is with the Bible. The Bible is written in a way that is a catastrophic failure when it comes to communication. When it comes to common communication, it is absolutely a failure. Thousands of denominations, and the confusion, it doesn't justify what they're doing in the different denominations, but it seems to start to justify it because it's like a fairy tale book that's superimposed on the reality of life and righteousness and a moral order and conveying righteousness through martial arts. And as such, it's insufficient, just like these definitions of what a syllogism is. With that being said, keep in mind that a term is a word or a phrase used to describe a thing or to express a concept. For example, honor. Okay? Or only the righteous truly have honor. Both of those things, right? That word and that phrase. Both of those things are an example of a term. It's a little bit confusing, right? Because they talk about a president's term, the terms and conditions, what have you. But that's what it means when it says that a syllogism is an instance of a form of reasoning which a conclusion is drawn, whether validly or not, from two given or assumed propositions or premises, each of which shares a term with the conclusion and shares a common or middle term not present in the conclusion. For example, in this example, which is not what I believe, it is saying that all dogs are animals, all animals magically have 4 legs, supposedly, and therefore all dogs have 4 legs. The example being made is that the terms that are shared by the 2 premises, the major premise and the minor premise, are that that the word animals, right? All dogs are animals, and all animals have 4 legs. Okay? Now, when you look at the example I gave in the last video about victory, the major premise was all victories are found within the boundaries of moral principle. The minor premise is when they reflect on the fact that all they basically did was harass me like children, while I'm willing to sacrifice everyone on the planet for God, they will see that they lost by far. So what term is shared? What concept is shared? The concept of what a victory is. The major term is more general, and the major premise is more general, the minor premise is more specific. That is the formula used in the concept of a syllogism. The major premise is that all true victories are found within the boundaries of moral principle. The minor premise is when they reflect on the fact that all they basically did was harass me like children. While I'm willing to sacrifice everyone on the planet for God, they will see that they lost by far. So the term that is shared, and I'm going to say it this way so you understand, is that they're on some bitch-ass fucking shit, and they don't know what the fuck a true victory is. They're on some bitch-ass, sniveling, wig-wearing, colonial bitch shit like a fucking coward, like a disgraced pack of worms. True victory is not in the boundaries of colonialism. It doesn't exist in the boundaries of colonialism or neocolonialism. A true victory exists only in the boundaries of moral principle. So when they reflect on their sniveling bitch, they'll realize that they acted like bitches, like childish bitches. While I am willing to sacrifice everyone on the planet for God in a heartbeat. And when they reflect on it, they will see that they lost by far. So in conclusion, is I am the most righteous person ever possible, which makes me the wisest and most just person ever possible. When I die, I will have the greatest victory ever possible. So that general premise, that major premise, with that more specific premise, that minor premise, led to the conclusion, which is sound. If somebody was going to try to argue that my syllogism here doesn't prove anything or something, what could they say? Are they going to argue you can have a major victory as some Dick Dastardly, kid-molesting piece of shit? Are they going to argue that the white man and all of his treachery all throughout history should determine where the line is? The most guilty and richest of them at that? Are they going to argue that they're so dumb that when they reflect on their bitch-made fucking behavior and their disgraceful cowardice, which is spilled out to them in like every movie you can think of, so to speak, that they magically don't see that I conquered their bitch-ass spirits easily? Or are they going to argue that the most righteous person ever possible hasn't lived the greatest life ever possible? And therefore he doesn't have the greatest victory ever possible, his life itself? And the victories therein? How they come together to make the greatest victory ever possible? What could they say? I beg your pardon, sir. That's the best they could do? Get your head out of your ass. Okay. So now let's get to the second syllogism that I've made. The major premise is a short righteous life is greater than a long wicked life. And of course, this is overkill by the fact that as you get old, you rot more and more and enjoy things less. I put that in parentheses. The minor premise is righteousness is greater than wealth. So again, the major premise is a short righteous life is greater than a long wicked life. And the minor premise, in some senses, is more specific, is that righteousness is greater than wealth. From these two things and what we know already, we can ascertain that the moral martyr is greater than all the other types, especially the rich, Herod, and Caesar types. Now, why is this true? Well, first of all, let's look at the Bible here. What percent of people are dumb enough to think that Herod is magically the protagonist or the hero of the Bible? In fact, his name, starts with the word hero, right? Herod, hero D. And D meaning the you-know-what. So because he gives some gold-digging Jezebel slut, some corporate fair-weather piece of shit, some white supremacist Republican piece of trash, the dick, so to speak, and she agrees him because she's a gold-digging vampire fucking whore, and magically he's the hero? Because he lived a long, sniveling, greedy, less than Scrooge McDuck, turned into a vampire fucking life? Then magically, he's greater? Have you ever even heard of anyone going to the Church of Herod? The world in all of its sheeple stupidity tends to not be that stupid. When we see people go to any satanic church, they tend to look dumber than shit. They look like Marilyn Manson on a bad day at best. They look fucking stupid. Dumber than fuck. That's why the white supremacists and conservative elite, okay, white, Jewish, and LGBT supremacists, tried to assign the party with more minorities in it to be yoked to Satanists more openly. In that sense of more openly. You know, they're more openly Satanists and they're more openly yoked to them. And they did that to counterbalance what is perhaps even more repugnant than being openly satanic, is being openly satanic because you're a fucking white supremacist in 2024, like a stupid piece of shit, like a disgraced piece of trash. Hey guys, that's what I believe. Fucking retarded. Can you imagine that's your life work? That's your heritage you're passing on to your kid? Right on, boy. That's fucking stupid. And for whatever reason, when I'm being fumed, especially, when I start cussing and saying things like that, people get it because they feel assaulted. Like somebody's taking off on you. What do you do? It's, oh my gosh, I got to block. I got to run away. I got to dodge. I got to do this. I got to do that. It forces your brain to work. The Lord is a warrior. Mental clarity comes from the highest point from a warrior, not a nerd with foggy glasses. I think I'm catching up now. Hold on. Yeah. I usually get good grades. I'm surprised I'm the last to get it. Kind of bitch shit. Pretty straightforward. And someone says, well, I'm in an intelligence agency, and my job is to try to make the nerd seem smarter. That upholds the white man's order, because I'm a dumb bitch. That's fucking retarded.